Tiffany Stratton, she's a queen, living life like a movie scene, with her sparkling smile and a diamond gleam. Gotta make way.
And welcome to the Raw.
No, he still get his ass whooped. He just positivity. I'm gonna do it too. What's real life situation? You get your ass handed to you. And you just, I got to go now. Nah, fuck that. Get out of here.
It's another one of those that you're pretty sure is tucking something away by the end of the day. I mean, the woman, she makes Mark Henry look little.
Want good news, and if you want good reviews, you come here to It's All a Work. Yeah. Snap into a podcast. Hello, 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 and welcome to It's All a Work. This is the SmackDown review. That's right, SmackDown ended just 31 short minutes ago, and we are here to review all of the things that happened. And I will say, G Money, Hangy Mangy, this SmackDown was loaded with a lot of shit. If I'm being honest, I said it was packed to the gills for 2 hours of just non-stop things happening, like different stories developing. I thought it was crazy.
It was alright.
You weren't feeling it?
Nah, I ain't doing it. It was good. It was good. I just ain't. That's why when you say you got so many pictures, I'm like, from what?
Damn. All right. Well, hey, we're going to go through it, man. I'm going to let you know how I felt, and then you let me know how you felt about that, and then how you feel about how I felt. Let's get it popping. All right. So we're going to start off with the most disappointing thing of the entire night. All right. This will be picture number 1, G. I don't know if you have the YouTube pulled up of the live stream, but this will be picture number 1. Is literally Apollo Crews getting kicked in his face. So I'll set up the scenario for y'all. So what happened is that Apollo Crews was entering the building, just going through checkout. My man was just trying to get his bag through checkout. That's all he wanted to do. Solo bumps up against him, and Apollo says, "You don't see me right here?" And then Jacob Fatu just super kicks him in the face. And then they just decide to beat the hell out of him and then all of security as they just go through into the arena. They just allowed this to happen. Nick Aldis ain't got no control over the building.
I mean, he's got more control than Adam Pearce.
That's about right.
They're about equal right
I
now.
don't know. I think you're about right. I mean, I do get a bigger... What's funny is, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more later, as far as the mirroring is concerned, but I will say that Nick Aldis does seem to have a better handle on what's going on in his side than Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce just seems to just let things happen to him.
Pearce just be like, "Oh, it is what it is." Like, no.
Yeah, so just craziness. But yeah, my man Apollo Crews gets beat down in the beginning here. Now look, my question to you, G, is this going to end up in a match? Is this going to end up being Apollo Crews versus Solo, or Apollo Crews versus Jacob Fatu next week? Are we seeing that? Because that was not announced as far as I'm concerned, as far as I saw. So are we going to get that match? Do you think that Apollo is going to get some TV time next week?
No. Just so flat out, just no. This was just Solo Apollo coming in, just being pissed off, attacking the first person he sees, and he goes to the back and attacks all the people. It's just, no.
That's disappointing, man. That really is disappointing. It's very, very unfortunate. Apollo Crews deserves better. Apollo, look, I'd never give this advice. If you end up coming across this podcast, leave WWE, go to AEW, join the Hurt Syndicate. Dude, I'm telling you, it'll be better for you over there. I hate to say that.
I don't know. I mean, so I say this, that he shouldn't leave and let it out. Say this, the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura was 1-39 last year, and it turns around they just hand him the belt this year. Maybe, by the slimmest chance, maybe they'll do the same for Apollo Crews.
My brother in WWE, Mr. G.
I doubt it. I'm just saying.
I was going to say, tell me right now how many, 39-1 in 2023, all right, or 2024. Cool. What is Apollo's record over the last 10 years, my brother?
Probably like 10 and then
Not only does he lose all of his matches, but it's like pulling teeth for him to get a match. It's crazy. It's crazy.
like his first time in WWE, I think he had the most amount of matches between NXT, his first like debut on the roster, and then the IC and US title run.
Yep.
Outside of that, he's had like 12 matches and he lost all of them.
Well, but that is a good point, though, man, because you do say that, and that makes me think that, hey, a lot of wrestlers, they don't even have a title run under their belt, and they've been with WWE for 10 years. Look at Chad Gable. He's one of them. So, yeah, so I guess at least Apollo got a run. I don't know. But, we're going to move on. So we're going to talk, so even though that was disappointing, we're going to talk a little bit about the injuries from Survivor Series. Now, they're in. We got 3 major injuries from Survivor Series from the men's War Games. That's going to be Tonga Loa with his torn bicep. I didn't know that one happened, but I guess CM Punk effed him up like for a shoot. Hopefully on accident. I'd like to believe it was on accident. Jimmy Uso broke his toe. I mean, even in the slowdown footage that they did, it didn't look as bad as they... But, I mean, your broken toe is broken toe. It sucks. And then, obviously, they finally showed the video. Big Bronson Reed.
I don't care what nobody said, that shit was real.
Yeah, man.
It was painful, and it was painful.
Yeah, Bronson, man, when they showed that video, I was like, yo, his ankle's done. He might
have to retire. There's no coming back from this.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's almost like, hey, you have a rod in your ankle now. You're gonna end up like Dresch, like, you know, because like that's bad. That was a bad hit. And look, we obviously everybody here at It's All the Work. We wish a speedy recovery to all wrestlers injured, but man, Bronson's looks pretty dang serious. I don't know. But outside of that, hold on. Got to do the thing that we normally do. Liquid Death. Look, y'all, we are not sponsored by them, but we want to be. If anybody from Liquid Death sees this podcast, please reach out, man. You help us, we won't help you. We only got like 5 viewers a week, but look, we will get there eventually. It's slow going, man. We just started on YouTube like a month ago. Man, look, man, we just started on YouTube like a month ago. We're getting a decent amount. It's not 5. We're getting like a decent amount of viewers every week, so I'm not mad about it. But yeah, Liquid Death. We're not sponsored by them, but we want to be. I want to be. So we're gonna start off with Mr. Cody Rhodes cutting his promo, coming out. He wants to talk about KO. Wants to talk about Kevin Owens, talk about Saturday Night Live main event, talk about how Kevin Owens is a piece of crap, used the Powell driver, tried to hurt Randy Orton, took Randy Orton out, who was his best friends. They were a love triangle, whatever the situation, whatever he was going to talk about, it doesn't matter. Because Chad Gable, of all people from American Made, and with his crew, American Made, are going to come down to the ring, and they're going to start talking some crap, G. So what do you make of this?
I mean, he just wants his opinion. He's trying. So my understanding is he's coming from Raw to get over to SmackDown because this whole time of trade or time of swapping brands, whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah.
He's just trying to make a name for himself, maybe, and then I don't know who wouldn't you want to go against except the fucking WWE champion. That's who I'd go after first.
Yeah.
He's distracted with Kevin Owens, so I'm like, hey, let me go out here and just, rattle his bell or whatever, just to get him off his edge.
Carmelo shot his shot in his first night.
Yeah, why not Shorty G? that was tough. Shorty G.
That was tough. That is definitely the word for it, is tough.
He brought it up, though. He said, what did he say? He's like, you're looking at Stardust, and I was like, God.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. He apologized for it, and that's why he was like, you're looking at Stardust. Because obviously Chad probably for a shoot doesn't like that. I mean, like, I'm not saying he doesn't like it, but he probably gets annoyed by the Shorty G thing. I don't think he liked that stint of his career. I could be wrong. I've never talked to him. Huh?
I don't blame him. That was tough, but I mean, you gotta think. A lot of other people went through stints where it was just dog shit like Stardust or, Dash and Cody. Dash and Cody was horrible. Undash and Cody.
Yeah, he evolved a lot, man. Cody did evolve a lot to get here, but so did Chad Gable. And that was a good, like, underlying story that they just made, that just happened. So, Cody, well, let's back up. So, it's Chad that kind of lists all these accolades and says Cody's a bad friend, and says Cody only cares about what people think about him, and that's why he does the things that he does. That's why he tagged with Roman, even though everybody hated Roman. Or no one felt like they could trust Roman because people wanted him to do it. The fans wanted him to do it, or he was asked to do it by a couple people. Whatever the situation may be. He only cares about his look. And Cody says, man, it's crazy that you're the one coming out here to talk to me because I see a lot of you in me. And then, just like we were just talking about, he goes into the Shorty G. Or he says, I see a lot of me in you, and he goes to the Shorty G and the Stardust angles and all that kind of stuff. But, he then starts talking to Chad about, like, not wanting to take credit for his failures, not, like, stepping up and being a man and saying, hey, yo, I'm going to take the blame here. And, Cody says he doesn't want to take responsibility for his failures, and, Chad gets pissed off and says, look, man, I'm not afraid to take responsibility for my failures, and I'm not afraid to step up into an opportunity. As a matter of fact, if I wasn't in a suit, I'd kick your ass right now. So he goes, oh, you'd kick my ass. All right. He says, all right, bet. Well, that was also the thing too. Is like, he got in his face. And I was like, all right, like. It's not going to be bad. I will say that. It's not going to be bad. But yeah, so he says, hey, look, man, I know you're here for this little Raw SmackDown trade deal, but why don't you go back and talk to Nick Aldis, and in his meeting, while you're talking about the possibility of jumping to Raw, why don't you talk to him about facing the World Heavyweight Champion tonight? And Chad's like, all right, yeah, no problem. And then as Cody's walking out, he says, oh, by the way, I got Kevin Owens on my mind, and that is not a good thing for you. And he's going to leave the ring. So yeah, that was a good opening segment. I thought that it was definitely something that was nice to see. But we're going to go to the back with Bianca and Naomi. Bianca is kind of showing that she's hurting from the War Games match, and she's like, all right, cool, girl, now that we're done, we got to check out, you know, who took out Jade. And Naomi says, hey, look, man, we can talk about that, that's fine, but let me go do this match real quick. She goes, all right, cool. Kind of suspicious, but also she had a match, so I let it go. But we're going to touch on that a little bit later. Naomi's going to walk off camera, and then Piper and Chelsea are going to walk up. They're going to haze Bianca a little bit. Hey, and, you know, Bianca's going to be like, look, you know, Piper, I know Chelsea was out there, but you weren't out there during that match. Maybe you're the one that attacked Jade. And she says, how dare you accuse me? She's like, look, but I ain't got no problem putting you exactly where Jade is. So, Bianca's going to face mush Chelsea. Then Piper and Bianca are going to go back and forth a little bit. Chelsea's going to give a shot to the ribs. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we got a match. So I did see it, but I almost missed it because apparently in Minnesota it was very cold in the back. I don't know if you caught that. Well, respectfully, all I'm saying is somebody should tell Chelsea it's rude to point. Now, what? Look. All right, look. I don't appreciate having to call these things, but you know, I am. No, so you can't leave that alone. I am a commentator. I'm a journalist, and I gotta report on everything that happened. Now, we all know about that though. That happens every match. We all know that. That's a given. Things are getting crazy. Things are getting convoluted. I understand. We will move on to Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton versus Elektra Lopez. Man, you smoking crack. Nah, you are smoking crack. Just like The Rock said, go home and smoke some more crack. All right, look. Ain't no way. You said, oof, yeah, it's true. It's where he's at. But yo, shout out to Dresh, by the way, man. Look, we're sorry you can't make it tonight. We do wish that you were here, but you know you ain't here, so too bad. Now, Elektra opened up really strong in the match. She really did. Like I will say, I know I said the whole crack thing, joke, but she opened up really, really strongly in the beginning of the match. Naomi ends up out of the ring. Her and Tiffany have like this little altercation. Tiffany gets the upper hand. So cool, right? Tiffany gets the upper hand. She later on in the match, speaking of Tiffany, is gonna hit a. Gee, I don't know how you felt about this, but I thought this was pretty damn intense. She hit Naomi with the double foot stomp on the apron, that little missile drop kick, double foot stomp kind of thing. Man, if I was Naomi, I would have been pissed. That's all I'm saying. That shit looked like it hurt. That's what I'm saying. Like there's some receipts coming if that wasn't planned. You damn right. So Elektra was getting booed at one point because we were in Tiffany Stratton's hometown, a good old Minnesota. She was wearing the Minnesota colors, looking fabulous as always. Shout out to our girl Tiffany, friend of the podcast. Not really, we haven't talked to her, but you know, if we ever do talk to her, she will be the friend of the podcast. If her agents are listening, we'd love to interview her. But Elektra is going to end up hitting the modified Blue Thunder Bomb, which, again, G, I see what you were talking about. I see what you were saying. Like, I mean, it's true. But I will say that when she hit that blue thunder bomb on Naomi, I literally, because I'm sitting here watching and typing and like, you know, doing notes and whatever and preparing for the podcast, and I'm like, I literally looked over, I was like, damn, like, because I was like, Naomi's getting killed this match. So it was rough. What? Oh, okay. But, like, so what's going to end up happening is Naomi's going to end up starting to get the upper hand on Elektra. Tiffany's going to spill out to the outside, and Candice LeRae's going to make her way out, which is, this was, considering War Games, considering Survivor Series, this was very weird. This was a weird kind of track that the story was taking. Now, the only reason I want to say that is because Candice lost to Bayley as part of the triple threat, right? So, alright, cool. So Bayley's in the thing. So now Candice wants to get back at Bayley, so maybe you could say that she came out to hurt to hurt Bayley's friend Naomi. But the problem is that you saw miscommunication between Candice and Tiffany in War Games. So my question is like, are we seeing some competing storylines here? Okay, yeah, like a little, alright, like a little bit of, like, extra kayfabe storytelling. I like that. So maybe that is a situation. Either way, what's going to end up happening is, when Candice LeRae does come out, it's going to distract Naomi for just enough time for Tiffany to get her bearings back. That was the whole point. So Tiffany gets back her bearings. Naomi dispatches of Candice. Naomi hits the split-legged moonsault, is going to win the match, but then Tiffany gets in, throws her out, takes care of Naomi. Then she pulls Elektra to basically the middle of the ring. Not all the way to the middle, but basically the middle of the ring. Does the prettiest moonsault ever, gets some good air and hang time for her homegrown fans. And Tiffany ends up being the winner of the triple threat. Now, the crazy thing about this is I did not see this coming. So here's the thing, right? Like, this is a tough one. Because I was like, oh, maybe she'll still lose, and she'll just go on to cash in still. But then I looked at who she's facing, right? She's facing Mia Chin. So there's a huge issue there. She's facing Mia Chin, and Bayley is going against Chelsea Green. And so there's a couple different scenarios of what can work out. So if somehow Chelsea Green wins, Tiffany will win. But if Michin wins against Tiffany, then either Bayley or Chelsea will beat Michin. But I think, just from looking at it, the obvious answer is that you have to have Bayley going against Tiffany. Because Michin can go against either Bayley or Chelsea, and that's fine. But Chelsea Green cannot go against Tiffany. They can't, because they're both heels. It wouldn't be a big blockbuster match. So what they're going to do for Saturday Night Main Event, because it's for the United States title and it's all of these things, they're going to do Bayley versus Tiffany, but I don't know how that plays out. I'm just going to assume right out the gate that Bayley is going to win. I assume that they're going to give more prestige to the title because a veteran's going to win it. That's what I'm thinking. If they made Tiffany a double champion, that would be just glorious. As a matter of fact, I will say this right now on podcast. If Tiffany becomes a double champion, I will buy all of Tiffany Stratton's merchandise on WWE.com. I will buy one of every piece of her merchandise if she becomes a double champion. I don't think she'll become a double champion because she'll have to either take out, at this point, Liv or Nia. It's not that she can't, it's just that it doesn't make entertainment sense outside of kayfabe. It just doesn't make sense right now. Yeah. Well, because even Nia Jax, okay, I'll just say it this way. Nia Jax and Liv Morgan, they're better talkers than Tiffany. Tiffany needs a mouthpiece, and she doesn't have a mouthpiece. Right now, Tiffany is the hype woman for Nia. Now, Candice could be a kind of a makeshift mouthpiece for Tiffany, but I don't think that it's going to work out because they have their differences right now. It'll be all right. That's famous last words right there. Yo, cash in on this freight train. It'll be okay. Yo, hey, yo. So that's your chaos pick. You think that it's gonna be Tiffany taking it down? Okay. Hey man, I can dig it. All right, so we're gonna go on now to the next segment, which was after the match, right? After the match, we're going to get an attack on the Street Profits, right? Someone takes the Street Profits out. Who did it? I think we can all pretty much deduce by the end of the night who did it. But Johnny Gargano just so happened to be there as Nick Aldis was talking to the Motor City Machine Guns, and he said, "Hey, look, if y'all don't have a championship match now, if they're hurt and can't compete, look, me and Ciampa are ready. We talked about this. We're friends. Look, man, we can figure this out." And Nick said, "Look, I don't know if I want to do that." And the Motor City Machine Guns are the ones that would seal their fate. They said, "Hey, look, it's fine. We've talked to them. They want a shot. Let's give them a shot. We don't care." And as we'll talk about later, it turns out it's going to bite them straight in their asshole. So, yeah, Hardy's did the same thing. You remember like a few years ago when Hardy's went around and won every tag belt from every fucking indie industry that they could? That's fair. I mean, they'll probably end up in AEW. Let's be honest. I mean, Motor City Machine Guns will probably work out this contract and then go straight to AEW. To be honest, it's crazy to me they haven't been in AEW. It's crazy to me that they didn't go there first. Have they not been in AEW? I mean, who knows? I mean, so many people are going there now, so I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they were. They had one match. At All Elite and All Elite All Out 2022. They did one match. Okay, so they did like the Forbidden Door thing almost. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So they had one match. So yeah, I could see them going to AEW. I mean, I could see them going there and staying there, unless there's some controversy that I don't know about. Which, hey, it's AEW. There might be some controversy that I don't know about. Let's be real. But yeah, I mean, and hey, look, I've been watching more of them. It's good shit. It's such good shit. Like, they're good. They're good at what they do. They really are. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the match that was created from earlier in the night because of the altercation between Chelsea, Piper, and Bianca. And that is going to be Bianca Belair versus Piper Niven. Man, I don't know. You hear that, though? It's like a motorcycle. Look, so the one thing that I wrote on here, first thing that I wrote down, because it was the first thing that caught my eye in the match. Could you imagine getting one of those damn sit-down splashes from Piper? Like, just imagine, you sit up, like, Piper clotheslines you, you sit up, and all of a sudden you're just getting hit with body. You just see a checkerboard beach whale coming at you. Like for some reason you're hearing the words for Scotland. It's just get squat. Yeah. So, well, that's the thing, though. She was selling her ribs the entire night, right? The entire match, she was selling her ribs, and the finish, like, somehow Bianca got booked to win this, right? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, how? And I want to say, I want to read the finish, and then after I read the finish, I want to go ahead and read the tweet that I tweeted on our Twitter, which, by the way, just follow us on Twitter if you guys haven't already. It's at its_all_a_work. Yes, if y'all want to go ahead and just follow us. As a matter of fact, I'll put the link in the chat right now so y'all can check that out and follow us. But the tweet that I said, well, okay, so after the finish, I'll read the finish first. That's easier. So the finish itself is going to be Bianca throwing Chelsea into the ring over the top after Chelsea tries to stop Bianca from doing the KOD to Piper, right? And Piper is mounted up on the top. Piper is going to go for basically the kill shot. But when Bianca gets up, Chelsea gets up as well to stop her. So she throws Chelsea in the ring, sets Chelsea up, and then hits the KOD onto Piper for the W. And she used the top rope as kind of like a helper, right? Because she couldn't lift Piper into the air. So what I tweeted out, which I can't even find it now. Can they do that? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. So only 8 people saw it too. A bunch of other people saw my stuff, but only 8 people saw that singular one. I wonder why. I wonder if you at people. I wonder if they if it stops. I don't know. Anyway, I said Bianca Belair winning the match against Piper Niven might show perseverance for Bianca, but what does it say about Piper when she was fighting a wrestler with damaged ribs and Chelsea Green helping her out on the outside throughout the entire match, by the way? And I said, think before you book things. This was an easy win for Piper, and she should have gotten the push, in my opinion. Piper should have won tonight because Bianca was so damaged, and you could have pushed that story. But instead, because Bianca has to win everything, like, she won the match. Now, my question is, am I over the top? Am I wrong here? Like, I'm just curious, because if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong, and that's fine. But, like, I'm just, like, what am I missing? Yeah, we did talk about it. You're right. Yeah. Hey. Um. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a pretty crazy. That was a pretty crazy end. That was a pretty crazy push for Bianca. Like Piper fought a really, really good match, and I'm just like, look, Bianca's the tag champion right now without a partner. Like, and we're keeping the belt on her. Like, why? In what world? In what world are we, like, why, like, Rhea had to vacate her title the very next Raw. Why does Bianca still have the title on her? Every wrestler has had to vacate their titles the very next episode. Why is the title still on Bianca? Why are the titles still on Bianca and Jade? Like, it has to be addressed. Nah, I think Jade's gonna be out for a minute. Yeah, it's been about 3 weeks. Like 2 weeks. Like 2 or 3 weeks. She was barely out. Well, she came back with the face mask. Which time are you talking about? Because she's been out a lot. Oh, she was out for a minute for that one. She was out for like 2 months, I think. That's what it ends up being. It ends up being just a bunch of we'll see, because that's just the truth. We'll have to end up seeing what happens with it, man. Because I'm gonna tweet that to Triple H, man. I'm gonna tweet. I mean, I don't know. I see. It seems to feel like sometimes when I tweet about stuff, people listen. I don't know. We'll see. But we're gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna get a vignette from Shinsuke Nakamura talking about winning the U.S. Championship belt, and that this was the beginning of his reign and the beginning of the end for LA Knight. So I don't know what Shinsuke had in mind, if I'm being completely honest, but I guess that we'll never really know. At least until next week, and we'll get to that in just a second. But let's go ahead and get into this. Naomi's in the back congratulating Bianca on her W, and Bianca apologizes for how things turned out in Naomi's match. Byron Saxton then comes up and says, "Hey, look, man, it wasn't Piper. I saw her in the back before it happened, so I know for a fact it wasn't Piper. She was with me or whatever." And she said, "So who do you think it was?" And then Bianca's trying to gather her thoughts, and Naomi barges in and says it could have been boom, 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 boom. Basically names everybody who was in the war game, the women's war game match. And then basically gets Bianca and takes her out of the picture. So I tweeted about that too, because I was like, yo, that's kind of sus. So I said, the at Trinity Fatu, that segment with Byron Saxton was a little sus. I'm back to thinking that it was you who took out at Jade Cargill, and I said, Bianca Belair, WWE, be careful, because I'm starting to think that Naomi just might want to be the tag team champions. You know what I'm saying? Yo, G, if I had a metal pipe and you didn't know I was coming and I hit you in the back of the head, I could take you out, especially if you're standing in a loading dock. Hey, I mean, I'm just saying. You're right. There are challenges with it, but I'm just saying things are starting to point to Naomi, and I think that they purposely want it to look that way. But so it's either that's the way it is, or it's going to be a swerve. I want it to be a swerve because I'm always up for a good swerve. However, I'm thinking Naomi at this point. That's fair. Well, they haven't done a good video reveal in a long time, so I actually hope that they do that. I hope like Jade comes back and she says, I have the video, let's play it. I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to see it in front of all y'all or something. And then they show that it's Naomi that's attacking. So I do. I see that you pulled that up on your phone really quick. That's what I see. I really, honestly, I don't know. My Chrome history? You won't see nothing on it. So, moving on. Look, I'm in IT. I'm a little smarter than that. So, man, look, Shinsuke coming to the ring. We gotta talk about it. Yeah. So Shinsuke's gonna come out to the ring, and before anything can happen, once Shinsuke gets in the ring, which by the way, his new mask and his like wide open eyes and stuff like this and stuff, man, he was like doing this thing, man. I think that's freaky. Yeah, it was good stuff. I'm very, very happy about it. So what's going to end up happening is that he's going to get in the ring, and LA Knight is going to just end up coming out. He immediately LA Knight comes out. He's going to make his way down the ring. He's like, look, man, you're a poor excuse for a champion. The real champ's right here. You took a cheap shot. And in my head, I'm like, he did, but he didn't. Yeah, like I feel like he beat you clean as that he's gonna beat you, bro. Like man. I love LA Knight, but I just don't think it's it. I think you just lost. Just take the loss. Yep. Yep. And this entire time, Shinsuke's just staring at him. Shinsuke's like, well, look, man, what have you got to say? Just say it. LA Knight's going to get in the ring, and the second he gets in the ring, I mean, literally his leg, as you can see in the picture here, his leg gets over this middle rope, and Andrade's already like, hello, I have come to be the champion. I am next in line. So he goes with that. Look, my accents is what's going to get us there. All right, our accent's going to take us to a different level. That's it. Yeah. He's you know what? Never mind. Either way, Andrade starts to say some stuff, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I won't even hold you. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. Like, I know that I get, like, I know what he was saying. Physically I know what he's saying, but I didn't get to write anything down because the second he gets up on the apron, Tama Tonga grabs him, beats the hell out of him, throws him in the ring. Jacob Fatu takes out LA Knight, and then Solo is gonna end up giving Samoan spikes all around, and then everybody's gonna look at Shinsuke. Now, as you can see at the picture I put on the thing, Shinsuke did not immediately run. He could have ran. And that's the thing. That was the thing. LA Knight says, "Let me talk to you." Shinsuke said, "Let me show you something." Grabs. He does like he wasn't doing the Muda thing, but he like grabs himself by the neck or the chin, and he just starts drooling out black goo. That's exactly what he was saying too with that statement, man. And the thing is Solo had his hand on Jacob's chest. He's like, "Oh, nah, don't go over there." Not. Well, and that's the thing with Tama, because Tama was like, "I'm gonna look like I'm hard the whole time." He's like, but he's over here like Shinsuke's over here like, "Ain't nothing but air and opportunity. There about to be some mist between us, but outside of that." But Shinsuke's gonna get out of the ring. Shinsuke intimidated them and then got out of the ring. It was intimidation. Since Shinsuke, as the United States champion, made a statement in 2024, at the end of 2024, after losing 39 matches, he's now standing, staring down the bloodline, and the bloodline's letting him live. True. I mean, well, yeah, that's the thing. Solo didn't want to risk another injury, right? So he didn't want to risk another one of his guys getting injured, right? Because for a shoot, 2 of his guys are injured. So he's like, "Man, I don't want another guy injured." Wait, you said what? Oh, that's fair. That is a fair point. I mean, we'll see. That would be a really interesting turn. That would be a really, really interesting turn for Shinsuke to join the Bloodline, but I wouldn't be... Yeah, because if Shinsuke joined the Bloodline, we would start to be wandering into NWO territory. It's like, oh, anybody can be a part of the group. It's like, nah, you gotta be Samoan. Shinsuke isn't. He's close, but he's not the right color scheme to be in the Bloodline. You can't, like, you gotta at least. I don't know. Was that racist? Did that sound racist? I didn't mean for it. Jeez. Shinsuke Uso? Jeez. I mean, hey, it rolls off the tongue as a chant, so I can see it happening. But either way, we're going to get into, after Shinsuke leaves, we're going to get into the Bloodline reaction. Now, the funny thing about this is you have a man named Shinsuke Nakamura that just stared your boys down. And now you have to understand that this is the first time this happened, and not everybody has the same mind that you do, G. So what happened here is that all the crowd and a lot of the fans at home, including me, the mark that looks into everything and tries to see everything, Solo comes out and says, if anyone thinks the Bloodline is gone, step up and they'll lay your ass down. He says this not even 2 minutes after Shinsuke staring them down. That's fair. But Shinsuke also didn't run away like a bitch, so I'm just saying. Can you imagine Jacob getting missed? Just blinded. I love you, Solo. Ah. He kind of motherfucker that would no sell the mist. He'd be like, I can still see. I can see because of Solo. It's like Jesus. But he says, I'm still the tribal chief. We're still the bloodline. I'm still the leader. And y'all all need, or I still have this, meaning the Ulafala. He says, acknowledge me. And the only people that acknowledge him in that building at that time are Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. The OG bloodline didn't need to be there because they handled their business in Survivor Series, and they don't need to be there anymore. They don't need to be there until they need to be there, which I like that. I think they're going to dive into the CM Punk thing. I think that's going to be like a miniature story. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be something, right? Oh, you're right. You are right. Yeah, you're right. I did. I completely blanked that. But I will say that there's some kind of favor coming, and that's some long-term storytelling because I don't see what favor they could use with Seth. So there's some kind of long-term storytelling going on right now. God, they're just gonna take them out together. I mean, you're right. Yeah. Shit. He'd be like, I'm here. We're doing it now. So, after this, though, after this happens, we're going to get Johnny and Tommaso in the back talking. Tommaso is not happy about having the tag team match. He says, look, man, this doesn't change anything. And I still gave you a deadline. You haven't told me what we're doing. You haven't given me my answer yet. So let's just go out there. I'll see you in the ring. Let's go do the match. And that's pretty much how we leave things before that match. But before we actually get to said match, we're gonna see a movie that was put up by KO. We're gonna see a movie that was put up by KO on his Twitter, or his X, I should say. Sorry, and his X, well, he's basically saying that he hates that he's got to go to Minnesota and have an interview with Michael Cole. He says, why do I have to do a Michael Cole interview? He said, first of all, they don't let me in the building, and now I got to talk to him. And I'm like, that's pretty tough. And he says, look, man, I'm not going in the building. They don't let me in the building half the time anyway. You can come out to my car, and we can have an interview. Which, again, some more innovation, some more just different things. I don't know whose idea it was to have Michael Cole walk out of the arena to the car. Fantastic idea, something new, something innovative. You get 2 thumbs up from me. Thought it was really cool. We will go through it in a second, but I agree. But right now, and this picture's kind of funny because I had to edit it. But right now, we've got the Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This, to me, was a chef's kiss turn. And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I liked this decision. So, let's go through the match real quick. So, Ciampa's going to keep being uncooperative with Johnny. He's going to isolate him, won't tag him in. At one point, well, the thing is that he kicked Gargano in the face. Like, gee, if you and I had become a tag team back in the day when we were talking about it and everything, first of all, we'd be champs right now. But second of all, if you and I had to put on a ruse that involved you kicking me in the face, man, I ain't taking a boot of doom from your big ass. Ain't no way in hell. Like, god dang, that was unacceptable. That shit was... And the worst thing about it is when he got up, he got kicked in the face again by what's his name? By Sabin, by Chris Sabin. Kicked him right in his damn face. So, I mean, his face just took a beating for these titles, but that's fine, I guess. So, Ciampa is going to throw Sabin out of the ring at one point, and he's going to tag Johnny in and tell him to get a chair and take out Sabin. Johnny's going to throw Sabin into the ring instead of getting the chair, get into an altercation with Ciampa. He pushes Ciampa to the ground. Tommaso yells, DIY is done, and Johnny says, fine, leave then, I'll just do this myself. Johnny continues the match, and he's going to give a low blow to Chris Sabin. Like 45 seconds after this shove happened. Now Shelley is going to be up on the damn ring post, and he jumps down and he's like, what the hell was that? Boom! Super kick in your damn face. Ciampa gets on the ring apron laughing about it, smirking. Johnny tags him in. They do a meet in the middle to Sabin, and we have the new tag team champions. That was good. That was good for me. Yeah, that's true. So here's the thing, though. How's this different from the New Day and Raw? So here's the thing. Alex Shelley and Johnny Gargano have been friends for at least, I would say, probably at least 10 years. They've known each other. Motor City Machine Guns and Johnny Gargano had this relationship. Johnny played as a voice of reason. It looked like DIY was going to break up. And then they didn't break up, and it was at the expense of Johnny's friends. The New Day broke up at the expense of Big E. The story is... The surface story is different, but the scene and the situation is the exact same. It's just more mirroring. Right. It was 2014. Well, yeah, they had their 10-year reunion on Raw. Holy Jesus. I mean, I see what you're saying. I see how the story is different. I'm just saying the story of a heel turn at the expense of friends. That part is what the same is. I mean, I understand the story itself is different. It can't be the same. Yeah. But also, they did the same exact type of swerve, right? It looked like Johnny and Tommaso were going to turn on each other, and then they turned heel together. And it looked like Xavier and Kofi were going to turn on each other, but they turned together. So you think so you're saying that the real story here is that their hatred for Big E actually is what brought them back together, and they were on the brink of. But at his own expense. Interesting. So he had to sacrifice himself. Heard. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing, which is going to be KO and Michael Cole, the interview. Look, this was just more... Like, there was comedy in this, there definitely was, but this was just more of the same exact thing that Kevin Owens has been saying. He says that Michael Cole is Cody's biggest fan, which was new, but then he tries to explain why he shouldn't be a fan of Cody, that Cody left in 2016, that Cody gives up on his friends, that Cody doesn't care about his friends, that he teamed with Roman Reigns. They dropped a little bit of some storytelling in there about Sami Zayn. He said, well, what about Sami Zayn? He tagged with Roman Reigns. And, Owens was like, yeah, he said, we'll get to that when we get to it. Yeah. So what that means to me, by the way, is that he's going to fight Cody on the main event, and then he's going to go to Raw and fight Sami Zayn. Think he's going to win the title? I thought it was a title match. If it's just a fight, he might win. But, I don't know. Well, I mean, we're going to be doing our predictions for it anyway. Actually, it's going to be rough because I got to work Friday and Saturday. I got to close. So So we'll have to figure that out. But we'll work on that. We'll figure out what we're gonna do. Heard. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, if Kevin goes on that kind of tear, and then he goes to Raw to go after Sammy, that's going to be much more intimidating. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, again, he needs to get back against Roman because goddamn, he got ran over with the fucking golf cart. That's some shit.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Moving on. We're gonna go to we're gonna go on to Gunther in the back talking to Nick Aldis, which I thought was a very weird thing. It's not like Gunther's gonna go to SmackDown. It can't happen. But Gunther, I mean, unless they do like a crazy switch and Cody goes to Raw and Gunther goes to SmackDown, that'd be crazy. But I sincerely doubt that they're gonna do that. But either way, Gunther's talking to Nick Aldis, and Carmelo Hayes is going to walk up as Gunther's walking off screen. Carmelo's upset that he's not getting any opportunities in the ring, I guess. He says that, you know, with this draft thing coming up, or this trade thing coming up, he says that Monday Night Mellow sounds pretty good to him. And Nick says, look, man, you being Adam Pearce's headache every week instead of mine doesn't sound like a threat. It sounds like something that should come to me with balloons and a cake. That shit was savage as hell. Yep. They got good timing. He then says, hey, look, man, you know what? I think I do have someone for you next week. So, he's going to get a match next week. We just don't know who it is. You think it's going to be Gunther? Because that shit would be hilarious. Could be Ludwig. Did he did premiere after all those stupid vignettes? That's the best thing I've ever heard. I didn't even know there was a rung below Apollo Crews. Like, I wouldn't even. Man, they saved that for people like for people like Malachi Black and shit like that. By the way, Carmelo, after Nick says that, Carmelo turns around and says, "See, that's how you get things done around here." Now, he's talking to nobody. He turns back around and Nick is gone. And the thing that I just said was like, I don't like the idea of using him as a joke character, but someone's got to do it. So it's true. That's the name of the game. Get in where you fit in. Oof. Well, either way, we're going to get into our main event now. We got Chad Rhodes versus Cody Gable. Really the story of this entire match is that Cody's ankle is going to get injured. He comes back after about a 7 minute long beating. That will go away once he hits the Cody cutter, where Julius is going to pull Chad out of the ring before the pin. Ref's going to kick out all of American Made. Cody goes to the roll up. Chad kicks out, and then hits a chop block on Cody before removing his boot, putting him in the ankle lock. He gets out of his way. He will get his way out of this. Cody gets his way out of the ankle lock to hit the top rope Cody cutter, and he'll attempt to do the crossroads. Chad picks the ankle. until Cody makes it to the ropes. They do a series of reversals until Chad gets the upper hand, goes for a backflip. Cody gets out of the way of the backflip, and even though Chad does land on his feet, his athleticism works against him. Cody catches him in the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Done and dusted. After the match, KO comes out to attack Cody's ankle. Refs and officials get in the way, get in between them. It's not enough. They fight and they fight and they fight until Nick Aldis comes out and gets in between them. They're still fighting as we get the SmackDown logo and we go off of the air. So we just, it was really nice to see Chad Gable in the main event against Cody Rhodes, and not for the title, but just it was nice to see him with the heavyweight champion. Nah, man, say your thoughts. Come on, we live and in living color. You said it would have made more sense for Chad to beat him? I mean, if KO came out and Chad got the victory, that would have been cool. Like a roll-up victory. I'm not saying Chad does Chaos Theory and pins him. I'm saying Chad rolls him up and he wins. But the thing is WWE is protecting their champions way too hard right now. Well, it's not even their champions. They're protecting certain people way too hard. Bianca. I always wonder in like 10 or 20 years if we'll start getting documentaries about like, oh, Bianca was like Roddy Piper backstage and she never wanted to lose a match. I kind of wonder if she's playing backstage politics. Mm. Yeah, that's an unfortunate kind of situation there. Yep. Yep. Well, either way. So for Raw, we will be back. As far as Friday Night SmackDown and Saturday Night's main event, it might end up being just G and Dreschen. That is a very big possibility. I'll have Dreschen build up a rig on Streamlabs, and maybe you and him can run a couple while I am being forced to close because for God knows what reason. For that Saturday and that Friday, closing both days. I asked why, and I was just told that things have to be changed up every now and again. Great. Well, anyway, y'all, look. We're not about negativity here. We're about positivity. And you know what, man? If you want good previews and you want good reviews, you're coming here to It's All a Work. Yeah. We will see you on Raw. And do not forget to snap into a podcast. Ha 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 ha.